What's good, YouTube? You know who it is, Flash Beast. All right, so I just finished watching a video put out by a brother. I'm not gonna mention his name or whatever, but I've been seeing videos about this all over the place. So I just wanted to chime in on it real quick, and it's about the WNBA All Star Game, of course, and who had the better game, Caitlin Clark or Angel Reese. For those who saw my post game, I didn't really answer this question like that. I was, for the most part, impressed with both of them because I was looking at them as rookies who, I wanted to see if they could just hang kind of with the All Stars and not look lost, that sort of thing. So I was kind of judging them on the curve. Were they like veterans? I would have looked at it completely different. At least Caitlin's game. Angel, in my opinion, really compared to what I expected due to the fact that she was not a starter and played less minutes, I would say kind of overachieved, to be honest with you. Whereas Caitlin, I thought she played well. But now, I just heard, a brother break down who he thought. He went through the whole thing. I think he was fair with Angel and all that. But he came to conclude that Caitlin Clark played the better game. And this was his reasoning. And this is a problem that I'm finding kind of all over the place. Is they're saying, all right, Angel had 11 rebounds, 12 points. Okay, that she scored. But then he looks at what Caitlin has. And he says, I know Caitlin only like she had 4 points, but she had 10 assists. And this is what he said. He said 10 assists accounts for 20 points. So that means she really scored 24 points. Now, this is what I'm going to say about that. That's a very flawed way to judge it. And why is that? See, when you do that, when you consider a passer to it had accounted for 20 points, what did the finisher get? Right? Because in the official stats, let's say the passes are going to Jonquel Jones. Let's say she got 10 passes to Agumake, right? Agumake on the stat sheet is 20 points. Right? So when you're looking at it, are you taking all the points away from the finisher and only giving it to the passer? You can't do that. No, an assist is an assist, and the finish is a finish. The points go to that player. There's a reason why in the stat book they do that, because they can't go to both players. Right? You can't have 20 points go to the person that finished, or between the players that finished, and then have 20 points go to the passer. The most you could do, if you want to, even go that route, which I don't, but if you want to go that route, let's say the passer got 10 assists. The most you could do is say they accounted for 1 point for that assist. Why? Because if the passer passes the ball to the finisher, and the finisher fails to score, who are you going to blame? You blame that finisher. Typically, this is what people think. Nobody blames the passer; you blame the finisher. So the passer is dependent on the finisher to actually finish. And then too, I'm not even going to get to some of these other issues with the assist things. In the modern NBA and WNBA as well, they're crediting assists in ways that in the previous years they weren't credited to. See, back in the day, let's say a cutter is cutting, and then the passer passes him the ball. If it's a continuation, just a gathering, grabbing the ball, and continuation, like say a cutter to the basket, that's considered an assist. Back in the day, like you pass the ball to someone who's like a spot up shooter, that wasn't considered an assist. Now these days, you just kick it out of a spot up shooter, that's an assist. Dump it into someone that's just posting up, and they can take 3 moves, make a move, this and that. They're accrediting assist to the person that passed it to them. So anybody who just passed the ball to that person gets an assist. And I'm not going to lessen it, but you got to keep that in mind too. No, that's faulty logic to say that, well, she really scored 24 points, accounted for 24 points. No, because now you're taking all the credit from the finisher. You can't say she credit for 20 points and the damn finisher credit for 20 points. Somebody gets credit for the points, someone gets credit for the assists. So you got this nonsense going on right now. And this person is, you got this one person saying, this is what I said. I saw, another thing I saw, where people are saying she's accounted for more points than Asia Wilson now. So she's the better player over Asia Wilson. And I went on there and I just went into their thread and I said, bro, you definitely don't understand basketball. This is a clown take. Right? And that's the truth. That's a clown take. So anyway, back to judging, who had the better game. Like I said, I thought they both played fine. But with Angel Reese, you got to look at the fact that she plays 18 minutes. And in 18 minutes, she accounts for 12 points that she scores, as well as 11 rebounds. That's in 18 minutes, and plays some pretty strong defense as well. Whereas Caitlin Clark in 26 minutes, which is 8 extra minutes, scores 4 points and 10 assists. And 1 rebound. So, we're being fair, being honest, Angel Reese got much more done in less time than Caitlin Clark did. I don't know how anyone could think, unless you just prefer passing. You just think passing is like the preferred thing over over rebounding and so on. And I don't. And you see, and there was another thing I want to talk about with Angel Reese's game as well. The comp for Angel Reese, like the male comp. I'm not familiar with Yolanda Griffin. I've heard a lot about her. I'll have to look that up. But right now I'm still in the mode where I'm new to the W, so I'm kind of like always looking for comps for the NBA. To me, Angel Reese is a combination right now, somewhere in the middle between Dennis Rodman and Moses Malone. But now if we break down their attributes, like really, if you look at their games, I believe she has more Moses Malone than Dennis Rodman. Now, for a lot of people who want to emphasize the rebounding, people sleep on Moses Malone's rebounding. One could actually argue that Moses Malone is as good as a rebounder, if not a better rebounder, than Dennis Rodman, actually. Now, those who go for Rodman will probably say, well, Rodman was shorter. He's about 6'5" or 6'6", whereas Moses Malone is 6'10". So they'll credit that. But what they don't know is Moses Malone, one of his nicknames was the chairman of the boards. Chairman of the boards. And if you look at the 1983 championship when the Sixers were playing against the Lakers, that was the whole thing they talked about. Keep Moses off the boards. And that was his thing. Keep Moses off the boards. Moses has seasons. He's a career 12, damn near 12 and a half rebounds a game. Rodman is a career 13.1 rebounds a game. A lot of that happened because Moses Malone, who was a 3-time MVP, I might add, had towards the end of his career, he had way less minutes, so I think he played too long, played almost 20 years. So that affected his overall rebound numbers, but at his peak, he had years where he averaged 16 rebounds a game, 15. He had a season where he averaged 25 points, 15 rebounds. You know what I mean? And now the scoring, ain't just somewhere in the middle. I project that as she continues to work on her game, she'll be much closer to Malone. I think she will end up averaging around 17, 18 points, like career-wise. I really believe that once they get a better point guard, and I believe she'll work on her game more. She'll learn how to draw more fouls. She's a good free throw shooter. Whereas Dennis Rodman, you gotta look at it, he's like a career 8 points a night player. Pretty much. If I know it's a single digit, I don't think she'll be that. Now, where I do see more Rodman than her is on the defensive, than Moses is on the defensive side of the ball, where the ability to guard 1 through 5. That's probably her greatest attribute right now, and on the defensive end. And after the rebound, her greatest attribute is the ability to guard centers down to guards. Moses Malone, I don't think he was doing that. Now, he was definitely a solid defender in the post, but he wasn't, running out there to stick Magic Johnson or Isaiah Thomas. Whereas Reese will do those types of things. Like her size, she isn't too big to where she doesn't have this, the movement to stick guards, and she isn't too small to deal with centers. She's just that perfect size, which I think is closer to Moses Malone, because Moses was 6'10". He wasn't 7 feet, and he was out rebounding those 7 feet guys. If you look at like in the women's game, Brittany Griner, I think she might be probably the tallest, or maybe that center that from China that the Sparks have, but those are outliers. Most centers are around Cardoso's, 6'6", 6'7", that type of thing. So she's undersized, but it's not like so small. It's not like Rodman small. Like Rodman was 6'5" in the NBA. That might be equivalent of being maybe 6 feet, honestly. So he was extremely undersized. Where Angel's not extremely undersized, but she is undersized for the most part. It's just slightly undersized. Where that's what I would say about Moses. He at 6'9", 6'10", he's slightly undersized. Dennis Rodman, I think it's more Moses, especially where I project her game to go. And you would prefer Moses. Moses is a better player than Dennis Rodman. I know for my man out there who loves Dennis Rodman, and I love Dennis Rodman too, he ain't better than Moses Malone. No, Moses is a 3-time MVP who can give it to you on the boards. He was the chairman of the board, so he do that. And he also was a scorer, a great defender, everything. To me, it's not even close in terms of the overall players, And look, he played for the Sixers. He was really responsible for our last championship. Moses was that piece. Once the Sixers added him, it was a wrap. It was a wrap. That was my 1983 Sixers, a team that, look, y'all can talk about the dynasties of the Bulls. You can talk about dynasties of the Lakers, the Pistons, all. I get it. Well, Pistons weren't really a dynasty, but they had a nice little run when they went back-to-back, I believe. Spurs, but I would take my 1983 Sixers and put them up against your best team. Flat out will do that. The 1983 Sixers who went through the whole playoffs with one loss. A team who could have beat the previous record for games for wins in the season had they not down the stretch decided to sit people and rest up for the playoffs. They could have won 70 games. Easy. Look at my 83 Sixers. And I really went back and I was looking at Malone, and yeah, Malone got the little awkward looking offense and all that, but he learned to master that. And that's really what I see with her game. Moses Malone. Peace out.